Libyans in Tripoli celebrating the anniversary of the revolution. But 4 years after the NATO-backed overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi, lawlessness is breeding chaos. The beheading of 21 Egyptian Christians by the Islamic State, also known as ISIL or ISIS, has prompted fears that Libya is now fertile ground for the group to expand, says Mattia Toaldo of the European Council on Foreign Relations.
There is a pool of Libyan jihadis who have fought in Afghanistan, fought in Syria, and now are back to Libya. There are other terrorist organizations which have an open alliance with some of the factions, and I'm speaking of Ansar al-Sharia, and fighters from Ansar al-Sharia may be already defecting to ISIS and swelling its numbers.
Across the Mediterranean, Italy is debating military action. Speaking Wednesday, Foreign Minister Paolo Gentiloni urged a collective global effort.
The deterioration of the situation on the ground forces, and I emphasize forces, a change in pace by the international community before it's too late.
The Islamic State has boasted of its ambition to conquer Rome. Italy feels itself on the front line, says Toaldo.
The idea of having such a heinous and dangerous terrorist organization on your front yard, because that's what Libya is, it's just 300 miles from Sicily. Then I think there is the migration issue, this idea that jihadis would be mixed with migrants on boats crossing the Mediterranean.
There are fears that Islamic State is eyeing Libya's oil wealth to finance its terror network, says Libya specialist John Hamilton of Cross Border Information.
I don't think it's actually possible for them to do that, but the fear that they could is a nightmare, which Islamic State I think are very willing to encourage.
Egypt carried out airstrikes on Islamic State positions in Libya following the beheadings. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has called for a United Nations resolution allowing international forces to intervene. That could compromise the UN's position, says Hamilton.
While Egypt has called for a UN intervention of this kind, the UN is in fact hosting attempted peace negotiations between Islamist groups, not Islamic State, admittedly, but Islamist groups and the recognised government of Libya. They can't really do both of those things at the same time.
Military analysts question how far airstrikes alone would counter Islamic State in Libya.
Yet bringing troops in will be fraught with difficulty. I mean, the one thing which would unite all the fractured groups that are fighting in Libya quicker than anything else would be a foreign intervention.
Such is the conundrum for the West, balancing the risks of intervention against the danger of a failed state on Europe's southern shores. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.